All right, guys, here's part two to that slope video. And I know I don't want any anxiety over slope. So just remember, just sit back, relax, enjoy it, and think of it as literally like slope on a mountain. Okay, I brought my special mini plot Post-its. I love these so much. And in fact, I'm gonna have a drawing for these coming up because you're gonna use these a lot, a lot, a lot. But anyway, if you're trying to find a slope that passes through these pair of points, one way you can do it is to literally go ahead and take your paper and you can go ahead and go over one up to, I'm just going to show you this, and then I don't really need you to draw this. I'm just going to show it for demonstration. And then go over 5 and up 4. You guys know why I had you do the ice cream sundae graphing? It was simply to get you ready for what we got going on here. It's just slope. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a line there. Um, it's good to put arrows on the end, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But anyway, so we can find the slope of this line simply by running to the right over, I'm going to do a new color. We can run over to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 2. And our slope is really 4 on the bottom, 2 on the top, which reduces to 1/2 because you can go over 2 and up 1 and still hit that line. But what I'm going to teach you now is I wanted to show you a picture because I'm a visual person and I like you to see the picture. But there's a way to do this without drawing a picture. There's a way to do it numerically. And I'm going to show you the trick because it's pretty dang awesome. Okay, so you got the second set of lines, which are 5 and 4. I picked the bigger numbers because I like to put those on top. And then I'm going to take this set of points and I'm going to put it underneath it. Okay, we're going to call this our X column and we're going to call that our Y column. All right, what you want to do is it's the difference in Y over the difference in X. So what you want to do is you want to take the second set and change their signs. We're taking the difference. So that was positive for us, so we're going to make it negative. That was positive, so we're going to make it negative. 4 minus 2 is 2, and 5 minus 1 is 4. When you're doing slope, you always put Y over X. Circle that, memorize it, love it. So if I'm putting Y on top, I'm going to put 2 on top, and I'm going to put X on the bottom because this is our X column, 4. And so our slope is 2/4 or 1/2. Remember when I showed you when you were looking at this picture right here, the slope? The slope of this line is over 4 and up 2, or reduced to over 2 up 1. It's so cool. It's super fun. All right, let's try and do this other one the way I showed you, but this is the Mrs. Snow method. All right, let's take and do, I don't know which one's bigger. I guess we'll use the first one. A -5. I'm going to not have very much space here. I'm going to erase that so we have room. Let's go with a -3 and then a 5, and underneath it I'm going to put a 1 and a -6. What I want you to do is change the second set of numbers, their sign. If this is a positive, make it a negative. If this is a negative, make it positive. This is my X column. This is my Y column. Y goes on top. X is on the bottom. We call this the rise over the run. So to find it, you're finding the difference in Y's over the difference in X's. So what is 5 plus 6? Oh, it's 11. And what is a -3 and a -1? Same signs, add and keep. So it's a -4. My slope of that line, if I were going to graph those ordered pairs, would be 11 over -4. Now, sometimes people see it like this, but in order to make more sense, you want to pull the negative out front because it's a negative slope. And by the way, if you look back at the other picture, this was a positive slope. See how the line goes up? A negative slope is going to go down. You would run to the right 4, down 11. All right. Like I said, hold on to your hats. If you don't get it, it'll all come. Keep the numbers improper. Don't turn them to mixed number because it won't work. All right, let's do this one. We got a 2 and a -5. I'm going to put a line here so this is all out of the way. And 1 and a -2. What's the rule of thumb? You take the difference between the second set. So change the sign to negative, change the sign to positive. What is a -5 and a +2? Well, it's different signs subtract, so 5 minus 2 is 3. Keep the sign of the higher number and then you'll be exact. 2 minus 1 is 1. So the slope is y over x, and it's negative 3 over 1, which is a negative slope, and it's 3 over 1. So when you're on your graph, you're going to run to the right 1 and down 3. Oh, that's weird. It's a little ink mark there. Okay, let's carry on. Carry on. Here we go. Use this graph to determine its slope. I say it's a negative slope, and you know how you can tell? You can cover up this side here, and if the arrow is going down, it's negative slope. I'm going to cover up this side. It's going up. It's a positive slope. But let's literally determine the rise and the run. So I'm going to find 2 points on this graph that cross perfectly at an intersection. There's an intersection that happens, and there's an intersection that happens. Okay? So let's run to the right. How many? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go to the right 3. That's my run. And I'm going down 1, 2. So it's a negative 2. So my slope, and that's my rise or fall. Because a hot air balloon can always go up and down, right? That's a hot air balloon. Right? And we're going to call that our y. And we're going to call the running dude, let's make him a little running dude, our x. Okay, let's go ahead. And so really the slope of this line is over 3 down 2. So it's a negative slope. Let's try this one. We know it's a positive slope. Find 2 points of intersection. Let's find some that are perfectly crossing the line. There's one right there. They're kind of hard to find, but you got to make sure it's a perfect intersection. And here's one right here. All right, let's run and rise. Are you guys ready? Run to the right 1. That's our run. And our rise is up 2. And so the slope of this line is 2 over 1. I hope this makes sense. I think we're going to have some fun with this. Let's carry on. Tell whether the line passes through the given points if they're parallel or perpendicular. Okay, now this is going to be tricky. And the 8th graders, they're the ones that really have to hone in on this. So if I wanted to draw a picture, because I'm a visual person, I'm going to get my little Post-it out here for you. And I wanted to put these guys on a graph, okay, right here. I would go like this, and I'd go, okay, let's just do this one. Over 2 up 3, and over 4 up 7. Draw the line. Let's go ahead and make a nice straight line. And we're going to see if this line, this other line here, this is line 1. We're going to call this line 1. And we'll figure out line 2 in just a minute. And we're going to find out if they're perpendicular, which means they go at a cross, or if they're parallel, which means they go right along the side of each other. Okay, let's do this line 2. Over 5 up 2. And over 9 and go nowhere because it's a 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, just by looking at this picture, you guys, I think you know whether it's perpendicular or parallel. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's perpendicular, which means it makes a T or an intersection. Now, do you want me to show you a way to do it without drawing a picture? Because there's ways to do it without drawing a picture. So what you do is you take your ordered pairs, 2, 3, and 4, and 7. I'm going to put the big one on top, 4, 7, and 2 and 3. We change the second set signs. Then we go ahead and subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4, and 4 minus 2 is 2. And so our slope is 4 over 2, or reduced to 2 over 1. Now how we're going to compare this is to look at the slope of this line. Here we go. Now we're going to compare these guys. 5 and 2 and 9 and 0. I'm going to go ahead and put 9 and 0 on top. 5 and 2 on the bottom. Does it matter which one you put on the top and bottom? It really doesn't, as long as you change the second set sign. Negative, negative. What is 9 minus 5? 4. What is 0 minus 2? Negative 2. What goes on top? Negative 2. What goes on bottom? 4. This reduces to negative 1/2. Okay, we do not have the same slope here. If we had the same slope, our lines would be running parallel with each other. Because we do not have the same slope, it's going to look like that. It's going to do an intersection where it's going to cross, and we call that, perpendicular. So this one, my friends, is perpendicular. You're going to some pretty high level math. You're going to see this in high school a lot. Okay, let's not draw the picture of these guys. Let's just go ahead and calculate exactly what it is and see if they match. Okay, so here we go. We got -4 and 1, and we have 0 and 29. I don't know, I should have probably put that one on top, but does it matter? Probably not. Okay, so let's change the second set signs to that. 1 minus 29 is -28, or different signs subtract, and -4 minus 0 is -4. On the top is going to be a -28, and on the bottom is going to be a -4. Do you guys see why I wanted you to memorize those rules so much, those rules of integers? It's crazy. Okay, 28 divided by 4 is 7 over 1, and a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so it's got a positive slope of -7 over 1. Now let's compare the other lines, which is 3, 3, and 5 and 17. I'm going to put 5 and 17 on the top, and 3 and 3 on the bottom. Change the second set sign. 17 minus 3 is 14. 5 minus 3 is 2. 14 over 2 reduces to 7 over 1. Let's compare, and that's a positive slope. Look at that. Those guys match. So they are parallel. They're same. They're parallel. All right, we're almost done. You guys are doing fantastic. Graph the line passing through this point 0 and 2. Okay, that's 0, 2 right there. With a slope of -1 over 2. Remember, my run to the right is always at 2, and my rise or fall is always the top. So let's run to the right 2 and go down 1. There's your slope of your line. So let's go ahead and do this one. Graph the line passing through the point -2 and 0, right there. And it has a slope of, it doesn't even tell us what our slope is. So I guess you get to make up that one. You can make up whatever you want. We'll call this one Do It Yourself. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 2/3 for me. You can choose if you want to do that or not. And then I'm going to go over 3 up 2. We'll check that one in class. That'll be our little bonus one. I don't have a student helper today, but hey, you guys did really great, and I am so glad you joined me. Have a great week. Bye.